Maido. Hi there, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about bumbling or fake perfection. Preseno Master Shimasho. This is the 8th year of the Presentation Japan Series podcast. We're beaming around the world to you from sunny Minato-ku in Tokyo. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, Dale Carnegie Tokyo franchise owner, the president of Dale Carnegie Tokyo Training, and the 3-time best-selling author of Japan Sales Mastery, which is Zaeigyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, or in Japanese, Anatomo Prezen no Tachijin. Plus, Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Muru ni Suru wa Yamimashou, and all are available on Amazon. Through this podcast, I want to help you become a better speaker to be 1, clear, 2, confident, 3, persuasive, 4, highly influential with those around you. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike many other hosting organizations, Libsyn have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on Apple Podcasts. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show podcast. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. And every second Tuesday, the Business Tachijin no Oshier show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcasto show. Fridays, the Japan Business Master Show podcast, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 368. Today we're talking about authentic bumbling or fake perfection when presenting. I want to be perfect when I speak. No, you don't. Let me tell you a tale of 2 CEO presenters with different approaches to addressing their audience. One CEO used recent movies as his navigation for his speech. Actually, I had watched none of them, but he had enough context for me to get the point he was making about his own journey as a CEO in a tough industry in tough times. Actually, we all love a talk about hard times and woe, followed by ultimate success against the odds. This type of speech gives us a mix of empathy for the presenter and hope for ourselves. By the way, which version of a talk would you be more interested in? How I made 20 million or how I lost 20 million? Most of us would probably be more interested in the latter because our risk-averse natures are always looking for clues as to what we should avoid doing. The other CEO speaker was just perfect. The speech flowed beautifully, was carefully crafted and manicured. The navigation was exact, and it had no delivery blemishes. It simply failed. Part of the difference was in the storytelling aspect of the 2 talks. The first CEO got us hooked on his struggles, his despair, his tale of redemption. He opened up the kimono to share his vulnerability, his imposter syndrome, his raw fears. It was painful and real. We had a context to gauge his ultimate success because he took us to the bottom, to the depths. He helped us visualize through his word pictures his challenging ascent back into the fiscal black. The other speaker told a tale of solid progress, a stable journey, onward and upward. It was hard to hear because it sounded too foreign, too far removed from the reality of the last couple of years of struggle. The delivery styles are also diametrically opposed. The first CEO stumbled over his words at times, had a foreign accent, which, frankly, challenged my ears to comprehend certain terms. He used the movies selected as navigation and spoke to the point each one represented and stitched his own story into the narrative to make his points come alive. His hands were empty for gestures. He was relaxed and concentrated on engaging his audience by looking at us throughout the talk. He used the stage area to cover the room to the left and right, but he wasn't manic and aimlessly wandering around free range without purpose like so many crazed speakers you see. The second CEO sent a chill up through my spine when I noticed he was bringing his iPad to the podium. Uh-oh. Sure enough, he read that perfectly constructed speech to us all. He was a much more fluent speaker of English, had no pronunciation flaws, and the construction of the talk and the navigation was excellent. He had clearly labored hard over the text to whip it up into shape and make it as perfect as possible. That was the problem. It was perfect, but it lacked authenticity. He didn't feel engaging as a speaker. It was a canned speech, and by choosing to read it to us, he disconnected himself from his audience. He looked down at the iPad to give that talk, and that meant he wasn't 100% concentrated on his audience, unlike the first CEO. Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do them in Japanese, we do them in English, we do them in our super safe classroom, and we do them live online. Today's show is brought to you by, on the 3rd of February, we'll have our Dale Carnegie course, 12-week version. On the 15th of February, we'll have our Leadership Training for Managers program. That's the 3-day version. And on the 19th and 20th of February, we'll have our High Impact Presentations course. On March 1st, we'll have another Dale Carnegie course, the 12-week version. Go to our website, dale-carnegie.co.jp. That's Dale, D-A-L-E hyphen Carnegie, C-A-R-N-E-G-I-E.co.jp. Lots and lots of value there for you. To do better in Japan, email me at greg.story. That's G-R-E-G.story, S-T-O-R-Y, at dalecarnegie.com. If you like learning by watching videos, then we have over 2,300 there for you at Tokyo, Japan, Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, every Monday, Tokyo time. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show, and on Sundays, we release Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders from SMEs right up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Get my best-selling books on business in Japan. The Bible on Selling, Japan Sales Mastery, that's Zaegyo in Japanese, Japan Business Mastery, and Japan Presentations Mastery, which is Anatomo Present no Tachijin in translation, plus Stop Wasting Money on Training, which in Japanese is Training de Okane o Mudnisu no Yamimashou. And all are available on Amazon. Welcome back. We are not perfect when we speak, mispronouncing words, stumbling over certain phrases. We have flaws, and that is why we're appealing to our listeners. They know themselves that they are like that too. We forgive the speaker for our common flaws. There is a limit, though. Anyone who has had the misfortune to hear a speaker and their way throughout the entire talk says to themselves, "End this torture now, please." That is at the other extreme of flaws, which surpasses the audience's ability to bear the unbearable. By the way, if that is you, constantly umming and ahhing, then please do the rest of us a favor and stop speaking in public until you can string 2 words together without destroying our souls. Counterintuitively, when the delivery is too perfect, we struggle to feel any great commonality with the speaker. They're a different animal to the rest of us. Reading the talk guarantees perfection, but it comes at a severe cost. It can easily become a lifeless, moribund, and boring exercise. My guess is that this second CEO speaker spent the entire preparation time working on the crafting of the text. Effort was spent on shuffling words around and working hard on the flow of the document. There seemed no idea in play of how can I deliver this talk and really engage the audience when I read it. Our word emphasis, phrasing, pauses, eye contact, and gestures can still be employed when reading the text to bring it alive as much as possible. We can depart from the text to tell a side story or make a key point. Let's engage in eye contact with the crowd so that it feels like we are talking directly to them. We have all the tools at our disposal and we need to be drawing on them. My advice, though, is avoid perfection and go for authenticity. Concentrate on your audience. They will forgive your few flaws and will gravitate to you when you speak. Think about it. It is extremely rare that someone reading a talk can hold the whole audience in the palm of their hand. Have you ever witnessed that phenomenon in actuality? Our first CEO achieved that breakthrough because he made us the centerpiece of his talk, not his carefully crafted text like the second CEO did. You don't need perfection. Go for being truly authentic. If you're going to read it to me, word for word, then send it by email. That would be much better. Did you get value from today's show? If you did, then share the love around with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Until the next episode, go out there and apply the learnings from today and become a presentations legend amongst your circle. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week. Remember, I'm in your corner, your go-to guy for soft skills training in Tokyo, committed to your success here in Nippon.